Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful evening with us on Live with Lloyd. I'm your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn, on this last Wednesday in July for 2025. It is so amazing how quickly the month has gone by. My guest will be arriving with me soon, Queen Afua. She's having an event this coming weekend in Brooklyn at the Restoration Plaza, and so it's going to be fun to see them there. And I believe I might be there Friday. I'm not sure. Anyway, they'll be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, let me tell you about our sponsors. One is Melinda Valentine, who has a gift. She's also known as Queen Bee. And in fact, you can find her on YouTube under YouTube Numeralytics. Okay. And you'll see it at the top left of the screen where it says key charts, and she's giving a 10% discount. She's also having as her guest this Friday one of our favorites, Jazz Aphrodite. That's going to be her guest this coming Friday at 7 p.m. So you just go to YouTube and click on Numeralytics and you will join them there. Also, King Simon, this is part 2. Actually, this time next week, we're going to be in a part 3 for August, okay? Because Monday will be the 4th day of August. Friday is the 1st day of August of this week. So it'll be part 3 of his 3-part special of the Anatomy of Numerovation. King Simon is one of the best people around. He's my brother and everything, too. So if I sound partial to him, y'all figure that out correctly, okay? Next is also celebrating over 50 years in business. That is one of my favorite stores in the whole wide world, and I mean that sincerely, Nicholas, Brooklyn. I'm going to probably be stopping by there on Friday to see them, because on Friday they have a 2-part special this week. One is Dr. B Serious and Black Magic 363. They're having a presentation on the Inner Child Experience workshop live at Nicholas, Brooklyn. You got to be there. That's this August the 2nd from 3 to 7 p.m. at 1396 Fulton Street, and tickets are available there. Then on Friday, they're going to have the ring guards. There's this gentleman who is specialist on the rings. You know, they have them in gymnastics or Olympics. So he's going to be demonstrating the power of what you can do with that. Also, I have with me Uchenna, whose book will be out very, very shortly. I think Queen Afua is trying to connect with us, and I will see them more, in a moment. And so while I do that, I want to let you know that we have Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly. Okay, there's a lot of things going on. I think they're trying to connect with me, Queen Afua. So, but Manifest on Purpose is a podcast that's at least twice a week. And also, Miss Kimberly Williams has also set up a business. She is now a business astronumerologist as well. So for those of you who are listening to this show and have a business or want to start a business and want to look at it from an astronumerical point of view, she's offering a free consultation. That don't mean you take up all her time, okay? You know, just get right to the point, what you need, because evidently the people are really scheduling appointments. So in all fairness to her. And also we have Jazz Aphrodite's Numerology Mastery Institute that's going to be starting on the 10th. That's in about 2 weeks. Okay. And that's going to be starting in about 2 weeks. And I'm going to have to, that's interesting. They're calling again. Hold on. Allie. Okay. Anyway. And so that is this. And then also I want to let you know that my guest on Monday, Portia Cooper, is having a special, a 50% off discount on any and all things to about her reports, and the use code is DECODE, okay? And that way you get your 50% discount off. Please forgive the, evidently there's some confusion with this here a second. And you know, the beauty of live TV is this. It's live, okay? Warts and all. So you see, you still need a password. You don't need a password. Please send a password to get the ISIS stream. Get on ISIS stream, but we need a password. I don't know what's going on. I sent a thing. I wish they okay. Hold on one second. This is Ali. Okay. Thank you, folks. You know, I could say Mercury's retrograde, and you know what? It's true. It's really, really true. And so it's going to be on until August the 11th. But right now, we must be at the peak of it. And let me just send Ali a message because I saw him on. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna get a live thing in a minute. This is her son. Okay. If not, you know, what I love to do best is take your questions, take your birthdays, things of that nature. Hello? Ali, this is Lloyd. I saw you in the presentation room. Please come back on again so I can log you in. All righty? Okay, let me send them a text. Hi, Ali, please log back in on the link that I sent you. Okay. All right, folks. Listen, I'm doing the best I can, okay? But anyway, for those, first of all, I do want to thank all of you sincerely who have been very patient and consistent in putting up with some of the little glitches that I have. Excuse me, before I do that, let me read the forecast for the day too. See, I'm slipping. Okay, anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. I got that done. I don't ask any people for money. Got that done. Today is Wednesday, July the 30th. It is true. The sun is in Leo. The moon is in Libra. It's a 7 universal month, 11 universal day, a week, and a 1 universal day. So for those under the signs of Leo, which is Queen of Four, Aquarius, and Aries, or born on the 1st, 4th, 10th, 13th, 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month, this is your time. Okay. Okay. Did they try to call me again? Okay. Let me see something. 1 second here. All righty. This is so amazing. Queen of Four. Queen of Four. I saw Ali, but I was in the middle of the presentation, so I couldn't interrupt at the time. So if he can get back on, we will, you know, listen, don't you worry, dear. Everything's going to be fine. So
if you tell me, if you could send me whatever you could send me, that I have to get to my phone.
Okay. Well, if he could.
Raj's here to help.
Huh?
Hello, how you doing?
Who's this, Ali?
No, this is Araje. Queen, I'm assistant queen right now. How you doing?
I'm fine, sir.
Excellent. So right now, Ali is not here, so Queen would like to get on, but she doesn't have the proper credentials to get on. And with Ali not being here, she needs to be able to get the right credentials so she can go on and speak with you.
Okay, here's how we do it, buddy. You are with her, I take it, right?
Yes.
Good. I'm going to send the link to, I guess, you. I need to send it by way of an email. I don't know about sending it to a phone number.
Not a problem. I can give you my email address.
Hold 1 more second. Let me do this 1 second. Okay. I'll copy. All right. Let's see. This is interesting. Hold on one second. Okay, join Lloyd. Okay. All right. What is your email address, sir?
Our email address is ORAJE7 @gmail.com.
Okay, hold on, buddy. Let me make this right. ORAGE7 @gmail.com.
J as in justice, E.
Got you. Got you. ORAJE7.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, I just sent it to you. All right.
Excellent. I will take a look at that.
So I'll be joining you in a moment. When I see you, I'll let you in. All righty.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Bye. Okay. Well, we're going to have some results in a few minutes, but in the meantime, let me go through comments. Take any questions or suggestions. Listen, this is done. Okay, hold on. Let me start from the top. So I want to thank all of you for joining. For those of you who have questions and whatnot, this is very important. Let's see. Hi, Goldie Lee. Okay. I hope nobody else calls. Thank you very much. Yes, all is well. All is very well on my end. Thanks, Maria. I love you too. Okay. Seriously. Thank you very much. And hello, Lord, Queen of Four and family. Yes, she will be on in a minute. As you see, the beauty of it is y'all are witness, okay? Because it can't be said, well, Lloyd said so and so. Y'all heard on the conversation. Normally, these are the things that go on behind the screen in bigger kind of media platforms. But this is keeping it real, okay? There's no question about this. All right. So also, the one thing I like about, my sponsors are great. For example, she's put up about the anatomy of numeration, part 1, 2, and 3. This is with King Simon. And then she's put up Nicholas Brooklyn. And so she always keeps you in the loop, okay? And then Master Life with Uchenna Hackett and Manifest on Purpose. That's how she rolls. She makes sure everybody get their flowers up in here. She's a business astronumerologist. Let's see. Okay, so they should be joining us soon. Yes, this is something I don't put that often, which is my information. You think as long as I've had this show, I'll be plugging myself. But if somebody don't do it, I don't think about it. But thanks so much, Empress Rel. Okay, and as she says, don't forget to hit that like button. All righty. So, okay, now you heard me pass the information on to them. Quintella, how are you? She should be with us soon. Okay. Now, she is having an event. And this is one of my favorites right here, Monique, who is the owner of Nicholas Brooklyn. Over 50 years of doing business. She is the most nicest sister, I swear. Yes, I'm partial to her. Notice I'm partial to all my sponsors, and I'm partial to all my viewers too. So it's like something I can't help, but she's really extra special in my book. And I mean that sincerely. And Melanated Brown, this is the regular. Melanated Brown has really tried to spoil me. I'll be looking for her every time. I mean, like she ain't got nothing else better to do with her time. Okay, Pearl. And let's see something. Okay. Lloyd, you're the best. You are too, Monique. You my girl. Thank you very, very much. Okay. And all the sponsors have been listed above, and everything is this Saturday. Yes. And the Ring Gods is on Sunday. Yes. And I'm going to make sure I announce this again. Welcome to my brother across the pond. I'll be seeing you at the end of the month when I'm there in the UK. Yeah, it is funny. Goldie Lee, listen, talking about winging it. Let me tell you this. You think after 3 years I'd have this down, but I've gotten better because one time my lights went out. Then the other time I forgot to plug in my computer and that powered out. So listen, and I don't try to do this. It just happens. but it has taught me a lot. It has really taught me a lot about how to do things. Uh, and yes, I'd have to agree with you, nature's native. I do believe we are. And in fact, the Mercury retrograde started on the 17th, and we're about to peak or just a little coming over the crest, okay? Because we still got, this is what's today, it's the 30th. So we've got about 12 more days to go, almost 2 weeks nearly. So uh, I would agree with you that we are at the peak of it. But this is things, okay? Yes, that's right, Monique. We are in retrograde, and we got one more. They all in water periods this year. One was back in Pisces, one is now in Cancer, going into the fire sign of Leo, and the next one is going into Scorpio, going into the sign of Sagittarius. But that'll be 3 months from now. Yep, absolutely, in the thick of it. Okay, I think we got somebody going on here. Queen Afua?
Yes,
How are you, dear?
finally. Thank you so much for being
How
supernaturally
is my
patient
Leo
with me.
lady? You know this is your day for Leos, okay?
Well, give thanks for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, I was going through some of the comments here, and I thank oh or J. I thank him
And
very much.
Roger, yes, you helped pull
Yes.
us to connect
So
us.
I just need to make sure I give him his props and thank him for saving the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, first of all, young lady, how are you?
Everything is well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Give
Busy as
thanks,
ever.
of course.
Dealing with this Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
And so it's just interesting. Now, enough of this. There is something, well, you've always been special to me too. All the Leos, okay? You are having an event coming up, a 3-day event on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Can you share that with us, please?
Absolutely. It's called Ascension. And Ascension actually brings together healers. The healers are those who studied with me, and that's like first level. They went through 12 weeks, and this is the Sacred Woman journey through the 12 gateways where they learn how to heal their wounds. If they have wound issues from fibroids to endometriosis, they learn how to use food as medicine, word as medicine, movement, yoga, meditation as medicine, checking with their inner child to see where the issues are and begin to reconnect and begin to heal that inner child so that they don't keep cycling the pain from their youth. And they go into family medicine. What are the issues with their mothers and their fathers? And as they heal themselves and go through their process, they're able to restore their relationships, their foundation relationships, or their parents, or their grandparents, and it feeds into their children, their mates, and so on. As the woman heals, she's able to heal her family. And it goes all the way to the final gateway, which is living your purpose, actually living out why you're here and living that purpose out. And so those are the 12 gateways. So we're celebrating them on Sunday at Restoration, Bedside Restoration. They're coming from different parts of the country and different parts of the world. It'll be 100 women and men because Supernova Islam, my son, and Hallelujah, my spiritual nephew, they they took the men through their 12 pylons,
These are
their
the
rites of
wellness warriors you're
passage.
talking about, right?
What's that?
These are the wellness warriors.
These are the wellness warriors, and they also were supported by healing juggernauts, such as yourself and other great men who have been really building wellness from so many different perspectives to build the men up so that we have healthy families, which causes healthy communities. So this Friday is the reception. They're going to actually see each other for the first time physically because it's been online. So that and that's going to be amazing. And you're going to be there,
Mhm.
and thank you're going to open up and charge the men, and then there'll be your classical readings, so they know why and how and why are things happening based on their numbers. And then we're going to go on Saturday, Sunday. Saturdays will be Men's Day. We have extraordinary vendors. We have presentations with the vendors because the vendors is the heart of the community as far as I'm concerned. They're the entrepreneurs. They're the ones who stepped out on faith and lived out their purpose. And whether it's a training or a product or a book, they've been able to be consistently on their square or their circle to bring out their work. So they're going to be presenting on what does it take to do what they do and how they can serve the community. So that's going to be a part of the experience. And then at the same time, we're going to really listen to the transformation and what did it take for the men to transform. I saw about 3 men in 30 days, and one, he was in his about 45 years old, and he just had a stroke. And he just got a stent put in his artery to his heart. And he was told that he's going to be on medication really for the rest of his life. But he's been with me for about 4 or 5 weeks, and the doctor's taking him off the medication. He can't even believe it. So when nature comes in, the body can heal. So our men are really challenged, and they're not taking the healing on. So a part of his healing was he cried. He cried out, and his heart, it was right in his heart, his emotions. And he
Yeah,
said, "I'm going to
that
live."
releases the emotions, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing you said at the very beginning when you were talking about the womb and the healing of the womb. Did I hear you correctly? You said, well, one of the things is words. Did you say?
No, fibroids.
No, no.
Fibroids.
I know you said fibroids, but you said this heals the womb. That there's certain things that goes toward the healing of the wounds, and I thought you said words. In other words,
Oh,
is it?
no, yes. Well,
Can you explain that to me? That's interesting. I find that interesting. Is it the thing that women say to themselves, or
yeah,
okay? Can you explain that a little bit more for women who may not understand?
yes. Words have power. Words create. And some words are passed down through your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, the doubts, the insecurities, which then has you in a cycle of eating toxic foods and having toxic attitudes and poisoning your blood with your own words. Some words are silent, where you don't speak it out loud to others, but
Mm-hmm.
it's imploding internally and it breaks down your system emotionally, which then has you connected to toxic foods because it's all energy and it's frequency. So the more toxic your thoughts, your words, your relationships, your past, the more you're going to be apt to having heart issues or womb issues or mental issues. So words are connected, and all going from gateway to gateway, it's really the anatomy, the spiritual anatomy of the body of the woman. Whatever is going on inside of her, for example, if the heart is broken, that's the heart is everything. The heart connects you to humanity. If you're angry at humanity, then you shut off. And the shut off can cause violence to yourself, you hurt yourself, or you're attracted to yourself. So then you have to process and detox and start to forgive and also start to reflect. How did I contribute to this? And what can I do to empower myself to shift that, to shift the heart, to begin to heal the heart, to have healthier, more wholesome relationship with self? So the women going from gateway to gateway to gateway is a part of them healing all the body members from the words that they speak from their throat to the thoughts that they think and their consciousness. That's the seat of Os, the power, to the womb is the seat of Mother Nut, the Sky Mother, and all those issues. So the whole body has to go through a cleansing and a repair and a building. And since spring, all up into summer now, the women have been doing their work to detox, to change their lives, and to transform themselves in the whole. So they become literally shiny women. They glow, and the men glow. And when they see each other, it's like it's one thing to be in your own world and you heal. But then when you look out and you say, wait a minute, you've been on the path of healing yourself too. Look at you. Look, light strain on. Come on. You're not 20 years old, but you're just as
I used
radiant.
to be.
You used to be, but you're just as radiant as you was then now.
We've been knowing each
So
other over 40 years, you know.
say that again.
We have been knowing each other, my dear, over 40 years.
And you know, we're on the same whole path. That's a
Yeah,
keep connecting.
yeah.
You know, even a kid, I said, Lord, I am with you. Help me. I was asking the Spirit, help me go on the show right now. I never failed, Lord. I don't want to fail him now. And you know, in technology, but you know, thank you for because you're a man
The
of
feeling is
balance.
mutual. But don't
You know,
forget,
you represent the highest man. That's who you are. You are a man of balance. You are a man of my eye. You're a man of wisdom, Tahuti. You know the words that are necessary to lift up and to charge. So you really represent the epitome of a whole man. And that's why you have longevity. So men have a lot to learn from you and men like you. And that's why we call men like you with the men heal thyself healing juggernauts. These are the ones who stood the test of time and have been able to you are living your purpose. Because if you don't, I found if you don't live your purpose, you will never be at peace with yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and so even studying the numbers and telling them this is why you're here and this is what you need to do to actually bring yourself all the way full circle to live out your destiny. It's so important. You know, your work is just so important. That's how I always, whenever I need to grow to the next step, I always reach out to you.
yeah. And I always receive your call because we got it like that, you know.
Yeah, I'm so
Question:
grateful.
what led you down this path anyway to do the work you've done to publish the works? Because we're going to be talking about your set of books you've published about. I think a
Oh,
series of about 6 or 7 books that I'm going to
yeah,
show on the screen in a moment.
yeah.
Just a couple of months ago. What led you down this path? I know we both started out at the Tree of Life bookstore, which is way back in the day. Okay.
Yeah, was that in the 70s?
Yes, it was. It was in the
Uh-huh.
70s. It
Yeah,
was in the
because I
70s.
remember getting on the A train from Brooklyn. And that was like an adventure. I was a teenager. I was like 16, 17 years of age. So I was always seeking. I was always seeking. So, but I was also sick. I was sick and I was seeking. And I
Really?
was, yes, I was extremely sick. And so when I went to the Tree of Life, which is, you're the forerunner, it was Kanye,
Yep. Dr. Moore,
John Harris, Dr.
John
Johnny
Harris. Yep.
Morse,
All of them.
yourself. And so you all set the tone really for, you just ushered us all in through the wisdom of the ancients of the ages and brought us into our whole self because it is from that circle of leadership that I went on my first healing retreat. Right, and that's when John Harris organized that with his wife Ruth,
Yep.
and
And
all
Dr.
the healers
Moore.
that was
Yeah.
there. That was my first time doing a fast, right? And I was
Yeah.
able to detox and take on a healthy lifestyle. And literally, during those 3 days, I changed my whole life. And when I left that retreat, I left with a book. Dick Gregory, Cooking with Mother Nature, was at that
Yeah.
retreat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I lived by that book and I detoxed and I learned and I kept on growing from that book to this, to the polarity training, energy training and radionics and colonic irrigation and Buddhist medicine and herbology. And I just kept growing and growing in it. And as I was growing in the knowledge and applying it, all the issues that I had started to just be dissolved. The allergies, the asthma, the wound pain, the headaches, the arthritis, and all that poison is because I was living in on a toxic diet.
You know
And when
what
I
I like?
changed that, everything changed.
You know what I like? How you explained that for women that the kitchen is the laboratory.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is how what they prepare in their kitchen and what they feed their family has a lot to do with the health of not only the women, but the men and the children in the family too.
absolutely. Well, I'm going to say wow, I've been working on that. Food is medicine is what saved me. So I look at, people eat food for just flavor and being full. And I eat food. I love flavor, but I also love my health.
Yeah.
I love my ability to be energized every day. I love to have a clear mind. I love creativity that comes from that. I love to make a living doing what I came here to do. Um, I love not having sickness in my joints and I can move and I can do my yoga practice
Right.
still. I
Right.
love to, I'm not looking in here for a wheelchair or a cane or medication. So I love to live a disease-free life. And I did it through food.
You know, that's why Elijah Muhammad had that popular book, How to Eat to Live, book one and two.
That was my second book.
That was my book too.
Yeah. How to
To
eat to
eat to live,
live.
not to die, but to live.
Wow. So that right there, that's food is medicine. And I went to Savior's Day for the first time this year. I've always wanted to go to Savior's Day. And I was invited by one of my students. And I said, wow. So they told me, many of the ones who were there, they said, you know, we love your book, Heal Thyself. And it's a Muslim organization. I said, oh my gosh, I've been with them all these years from the time I wrote that book 35 some years ago. Heal Thyself has been with the nation, but also How to Easily Live was with me. So that book, and between Dick Gregory and that book, those are the two books that really had me to write later on. I didn't know I was going to be writing as I'm living, but you know, our dear friend Dinah Farshirty gave me the reading. She's our mystic, and she said, you know, you're gonna make your living through writing. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I got to thank John Harris because he at the Tree of
Yeah.
Life would tap me on my shoulder. When you gonna write that book, brother? I said, what are you talking
Oh,
about? That was the furthest. Okay, that was the furthest thing from my mind. We went blank a second. I don't know what happened. Um, well, when she comes back on, that's interesting. Okay, well, let me do this a second. Okay, I'm gonna switch back over to me until such times. Okay, it says the device is not connected. All right, so when they reconnect again, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go through some of these things. But by the way, let me tell you this. Hold on. Um, this is the event that she's going to be having this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a homecoming. It's a dinner. It's going to be in Brooklyn, where she was born and raised. Okay, and it is about ascension. It's going to be for the sisterhood, and although it's the sisterhood, it's for the brothers too. All right. And this was the book she published back in the 1980s when I published my first book with Valentine, which was in 87. So this is around 87, 88, 89. Her book has become a classic, like My Numbers and You has been a classic and a mainstay. She's also published some new books. Um, these are the books here on nutrition, but I'm going to have her wait till she gets back on to explain them. All right. Now, until she does, let me tell you this. On Monday the 4th, I'm having this couple from the UK back on. All righty. They are Vanessa and Corey Best. Okay. They are numerologists in the UK. They have invited me to their home. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I think, hold on. Let me get this straight.
all right.
Okay. I think we're back on. Hold
I'm
on
back on.
a
Okay.
second. Okay. I hear your voice. That's a good thing. Now I just need to see a visual. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. All right.
Yeah, I want to show you my babies.
Hold
These
up.
are my
Hold up.
new
Hold up. Let me
babies.
put it over here. Put the
I
focus
know they
on them.
see it, but look at this. My son Ali says this is an encyclopedia of Buddhist medicine,
Yeah. All of this
right?
you just published just a couple of
Yes,
months ago.
it just came out yesterday. The 7 books is on Amazon. It's
Well,
not,
here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the first of the 7 books up there.
yeah.
Can you explain them? Can you see it on the screen there, dear?
Yeah, the soul food, not the top one, but the middle one. That's the first one.
Okay.
That's the soul food vegan kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is inside of there. And all of the books, there's a journal, there's movement, there's affirmations, there's recipes. Because you don't heal. I look at food from different perspectives. If I exercise, that's nourishment, emotional nourishment. If I do my proper breathing, I can process my life. I can process food in a whole way. Things don't get trapped in the system. There's no constipation. If I as I journal, I'm reflecting on my life, and that's food for the soul, for the spirit. So soul food. Now, soul food is really about, I have Southern soul food, I have Caribbean, so these are recipes donated from different cultures. Southern soul food, Caribbean soul food, African soul food from Nigeria, New Orleans soul food, Mexican soul food. And what makes it soul food to me is that it's the taste, it's the texture, it's the seasoning, it's the herbs, it's the spices that is in your culture. If you say it's something curry, you know that's going to be from the islands. So you just, so the different seasonings and herbs actually makes someone feel connected to the food. If it doesn't look like their culture, if it doesn't have that aroma of their culture, how their mother made it, their grandmother made it, their father made it, they're not going to be connected. So, and I find that with many vegetarians who want to bring vegetarian, vegan, plant-based lifestyle to their family, they are not interested. If it doesn't taste like grandmother's sweet potato pie, it's not going to happen. So I had those recipes in there so people can begin to relate, and that's the soul food level. So
And these are
that's
and these are some of the other books, and it seems like in each book there's a specialty or emphasis that you put on it that gives it that pardon the pun flavor.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna look at the book you have. You have on the
You look at it,
bottom.
look, you got the
Okay,
books in front
I'll
of
go
you.
to
So you
Emerald
said,
Green. Yeah, the Emerald Green. The Emerald Green book and the Sun book, because that's going to come up. Those are very similar, but the Emerald Green makes it even becomes more specific. The chlorophyll it's literally sunlight. So the sun
mm-hmm,
goes into the plants causes photosynthesis, and that pigmentation, when we take that in a form of greens, it restores and repairs a cancerous cell. It flushes it out. It balances out your mental body, your emotional body, the heart, and basically on an RE level, it's green,
mm-hmm.
and it balances out your emotions, your heart, your relationships. So you have a healthy relationship with yourself. So if you had, even I say, when I sometimes send people message, I said, have a green day. And maybe once a week, you'll just have nothing but greens, avocado with your green salad, a vegetable soup with no starch in, just all vegetables, a vegetable juice, a cucumber for your kidneys, watercress for your kidneys, chard for the bones and joints. So the greens will prepare. So if you have 1, 2, or 3 days, so I'm gonna have a green weekend. So from Friday to Sunday, you will find when you go to work on Mondays, you have supernatural energy and vitality, just like the sun gives us. So that's the green energy, and that's why I call it rejuvenation kitchen. It rebuilds and repairs. Now, look, okay, I see where you are. That is the bottom one. That is the liberation kitchen. That's liberation soup kitchen. Now, sometimes people say being on plant based is too complicated. So everybody can make a soup, and if the fact that if a soup will help to liquefy, and we're 75% liquid. So if you can have a soup day and just liquids all day long, then that calcification, that information could be flushed out through the healing waters of that soup. That colon that is constipated and congested, if you have that soup and you put some okra in it, chop up some okra, bolus of okra into the soup, that will lubricate your colon and regulate the colonic. You may not get a colonic because your food is doing the colonic cleansing, colon cleansing. So that's where the soup comes in. And the soup came out of the soup kitchen really came out of me when I would go from my home to when I had a center in Brooklyn years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
would see these two soup lines. And one of the soup lines, I would say, oh, that's so beautiful. I'm not eating what they're eating, but the fact that humanity is feeding humanity and they care about people they don't even know. I would always be giving a prayer when I would go past that. And that connected to I would do, and I'm starting them up again, one day fasting shut-ins, where somebody would come and at the end of and they would
Yeah,
just
I
juice. And
remember that. Yeah, to
you
go
remember,
for those
you
that
came to
can't
quite
get
a
out
few
of
of
the
them.
house.
You came to many of them over the years. I did about 20 years. And they would come in at 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 4 o'clock we break the fast. And so it was a supported fast. It was all liquefied. And at the end, we would close with a soup or a salad and some vegetable juice on my Green Life nutritional formula. So it was always the liquid. So the soup kitchen is when we really come together as a community and we have a healing opportunity. So what else do I see up
Now,
there?
what's up at
Okay.
the top? It looks like beets and carrots and
Oh, that's back to the sun foods. I want to give an honor to Brother Aris. I honored him in this book because we met about 45 years ago, and he was doing a live food demonstration, him and his wife in Brooklyn in their small apartment. We piled up in his apartment, and he taught us how to make live cakes and live pies and delicious live food. That was not in our community to have a lot to live on live food. So at that time, I believe I gave him a colonic and I gave him a massage. We exchanged, and we've been exchanging work just like myself and you all of these years. And he's in Panama now. He travels, but he is our master live food, raw food chef. So I'm just honoring him in that and just working with him over the years. My most about 90% of what I take is live food. But I'm a chlorophyllion, and I eat live. So
well,
that's
listen, speaking of live food, a lot of the food now is just of taste and devoid of all nutrition.
oh my
And
God.
many, when you go into a supermarket, many of the packaging now says bioengineered ingredients. Is that suggests to
That's
me
a
that some of the
crime.
food is made in a lab, not
Yeah, and it's a
organically out of
crime.
nature.
Listen, watermelon, they took the seeds out, they killed it. So it's done. It's nothing. And you taste it. It's just like you drinking pink water. Because if the seeds is the life giving, if you don't have the seeds, you don't have the life of the food. So if it's a lab food, it's GMO. And we are becoming GMO'd. Literally. So we're not in our full power. They're taking the seeds out of oranges, take the seeds out of limes. They're taking the seeds out of grapes a long time ago. So the food is being engineered, and we have to put a stop to it. We have to be more health conscious. But while they do all of that, devitalizing the food, we're eating fast foods that is numbing us out. So we're not even paying attention. We're not even paying attention. So the best thing one can do is become a food co-op member or create a food co-op with 3 or 4 other family members. Create your own food co-op. And then the farmers markets that they have on Saturday, support your farmers market. And demand in grocery stores that they bring food that is real food and organic food that's reasonably priced and that you want seeds in it. So because our food is our fuel. If you don't have the right food, you don't have your full energy. I'm working in Harlem right now with Stephanie McGraw. Every Tuesday I do yoga meditation and lifestyle healing. And I serve the women, these women who have been battered and domestic violence is in their home. And the men are hurting, the women are hurting, and the children are hurting. And with the women, when they come to me, before we do the yoga and the meditation, I give them a green drink. And then I give them the eucalyptus and the peppermint, the breath of life. And they just said, oh my gosh, I can breathe. I said, yes, you're going to breathe deeper and fuller, and you're going to become more bright. And when you become bright, certain things you're not going to allow anymore. You're not going to allow suppression, oppression in your life. You're not going to allow people to disrespect you the more you love on yourself. And so when I give them that green drink and they're coming, they come every Tuesday. I literally see the light coming back in their eyes. And they don't, and some of them say, no more violence, because the food is violent. That's what we call it food, but it's because we put it in our mouth to make it food. And you can tell that food is violent because that's why we get a heart attack, right? That's why we get an aneurysm. We lose our mind and we may blank out. That's why we get an asthma attack. These are attacks. But what do we may be eating dairy late at night and laying down and your lungs start to collapse like mine was a teenager. So the food is attacking us. You get indigestion. It's an attack on your digestive system, that your digestive system is shutting down. And when your digestive system shuts down, the waste cannot pass out and pass through. When people have dead legs, at this point, when you get 60 years old, well, I would say really now 40 and 50, because everybody eats a lot of fast food. I see when I walk in Brooklyn, I see some of the older men particularly, and even some of the older women, they're dragging their legs down the street. They're like carrying their legs and dragging them. And it's because there's no circulation. And all the years of congestion and eating late and GMO foods and microwave and fast food, dead substance, not real life foods, their arteries begin to clog up, and it's just layers and layers of plaque. And that's what most pain is coming from that, from what we're eating. We literally, back to the book, right? We are what we eat. And what
Well,
I'm carrying with this, yes, sir.
Donald Thomas, who also came out of the Tree of Life to set the Guinness record for after dinner speeches, and he lives in Hawaii, but he was saying that statistically, most senior citizens are on no less than about 5 to 7 medications every day.
That and that's unnecessary. That's why I said food is medicine, and it's important. I mean, I remember I got on today the Breakfast Club, which is coming on Friday, showing Friday, and there was a $1 million question that showed up in as the questions were coming, and I had to really think before I would speak. And the question was, well, this commentator, she was saying, well, I'm not taking I don't trust the medication, the side effects. I'm afraid of going to the hospital. I don't know what they're gonna do, organs being removed, there's so much trauma and negativity. She just gave the list. And she said, what do you think, Queen Afua? Whoa. I said, give me a moment. Let me take a deep breath.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
my next word, my best word. And I said this, I worked with Dr. Bernie Sheridan, an MD for the last 13 years. We're still best friends. And what we have in common is we want wellness for our people. And so she's medical, allopathic medicine, I'm holistic medicine. And the planes met because many of her patients over the years was going to her, Brownsville, Crown Heights. They were traveling between us, and I didn't know it, and she really didn't know it. But over time, she would say, wait a minute, I'm about to cut back on your medication. And she's honest. She's, I'm cutting back. But what are you doing different? And it would always be said, well, I'm on with Queen of Farms on my 21-day detox. I've been doing a season of detoxing and cleansing. I've been using plant-based lifestyle. I've incorporated more greens in my lifestyle and more water. And, I'm eating healthier. And she said, so she said, it happened over the years. So she asked one of her patients, I want to meet Queen of Four. I want to meet this Queen of Four. And so I said, I want to meet her because what I wanted from a medical doctor, I wanted them to quantify, I wanted to find one doctor who would test my work. And she was the one. And for 1 year, she asked me to do 12 presentations every month. She said to her, for her patients and her staff, her team, she said, I want you to give a workshop on diabetic prevention, and I would do a 90-minute presentation. Every month was another topic she would give me. I want you to do a workshop on fibroid tumors, womb issues, another one on depression, another one on high blood pressure, hypertension. So she went every single month, 2 weeks before, she would say, this is the topic this month. This was hot topics of wellness. And after a year, and that was community service. I didn't charge for it. I just did it. And at the end of the year, I said, can you give me what I need now? And she said, yes. And that was, I was able to use her clinic and we brought 28 of her patients into her clinic. She brought 4 nurses in to do the testing. I had a psychotherapist who was on team, who was one of my students. I had an administrative person who organized us, Jerry and Scott. And we went in for a season. They used my books, my charts, my formulations. And the information is recorded in a book that I have called Circles of Wellness. And so I had an opportunity. So in that question, I said, if you have a really concerned physician and a concerned holistic practitioner, we can actually learn to work together because you could take someone off of their meds as a holistic healer and they'll go into a shock, and their body may break down rapidly because they haven't had a chance to transition. People have to transition because 30, 40 years of eating poison, it's not going to change having 2 salads and a green juice.
Yeah,
It's
not
going to
in a
take,
day or a week.
no, it's a season, it's the work and working together and teamwork. That's what's going to help. And for myself, I was on medication for some years with my asthma. And when I went to the Tree of Life, it was when I went to the Tree of Life, that became my hospital. I didn't know it. And I know John Harris, with some of the other brothers across the street, opened up a juice bar.
Yes,
That was
that's
our
right.
pharmacy. Between the juice
Yeah,
bar, the
yeah.
education, your books, us, a retreat, all that was a whole community lifestyle. That was my medicine. That was my prescription that saved me. And from that point, I help others. But yeah, we could work in both worlds until we could work with all of nature. Eventually, you'll be off all medication. So when you mentioned the elders, the average elder, and so the side effects. So you can't live. It's not that you're gonna make it a lifestyle. It's to make you in danger of a heart attack. It's temporary. But if you do it as a way, there is gonna be a challenge with the side effects. And sometimes the side effects are worse than the condition you came in and started with. And now you got detox from the side effects and the condition, and you don't know what to do. So there's a lot of fear, and people are dying unnecessarily because they just don't have information. And that's why I teach, and I'm going to teach a training that brings all of my work together.
Well, speaking of
And
that, part of
yeah,
what you're going to do is this weekend. Can you tell us about this again,
well,
please, and exactly where it's going to be?
mhm. This is Ascension. Ascension is a concept that we are elevating out of the conditions that we find ourselves in, the lack, the limitations, disease, and I call it getting out of the trap. We have drug addiction traps, we have food addiction traps, we have toxic relationship traps, we have verbal abuse to ourselves and to other traps, we have emotional traps. When you feel like you can't get out of it, well, these women and these men, they cleansed, they purified, they did the work, and they got out the trap. And so we're going to celebrate this the first, second, and third of August is a restoration. Now the first of August is we're coming together, and that's with the community to meet and greet because they haven't met each other until
Now,
now.
this is going to be at the Restoration Plaza.
Restoration Plaza in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, and you can go on my website. You can register for Saturday is Men's Day. So please bring your son, bring your mate, your husband. If you having issues, bring your grandfather. Bring the men out, but bring the women out too, because the women have husbands that are sick and they need to get information, and I'll have my tonics there. They need to get information, inspiration to go home and change and transform their family. So that's all about Saturday. And Sunday, all the women come out, the families come out, because the women are going to give their testimony through drama. And you're going to see yourself in their testimony. You're going to see what you need to do to transform your life.
Well,
So come out to that.
I bear witness to the one I attended in Atlanta a couple of years ago.
Oh,
It was the
yes.
most amazing to see the women, the men. It was, I mean, transformative is an understatement. It was just like a wonderful experience. Let me ask you this though, to make sure on your banner. So do they contact you at queenafua.com? Is that where they go to get this information, dear?
Yeah, it's Queen of Ford, AFUA.com, and you
Queen of
can
Four, yes,
register.
it's on the screen. And if they want the Instagram, the Facebook, and the X, which is formerly Twitter, they go at Queen of Four. Would that be correct too?
Yes, absolutely.
All
Mhm.
right, all right.
Yeah,
And of course, you are the founder of the Queen of Four Wellness Institute.
absolutely.
Don't that
Yes.
make you proud, though?
No, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It took a lot for me
I
to even
share
call
on
it Queen
that
of.
one.
It took a lot for me to even accept. My team would say, "You have to call it Queen of Four." I said, "Well, why don't you do?" Because for 20 years it was Heal Thyself. It
Yes,
wasn't Queen of
exactly.
Four, Heal Thyself. It was just Heal Thyself. The book was Heal Thyself. The formulas called or Heal Thyself detox formulas, and the center was called Heal Thyself. It took years for me to accept Queen of Four. I don't want the ego attached. I just
And
want the
this is the
wellness.
book that really opened the doors for a lot of people, not just you as an author and as a woman, but for women in general. I've met very few women that is not familiar with this book, Sacred Woman. This is your first book that was published back in the 1980s.
And thank you very much because you put a good word in.
Yes, I did.
You
Yes,
were like a guardian angel because you opened the way, and to be able to talk to you. You're not an ancestor. You're actually in the flesh. and to be able to talk to you and for us to be able to continue to work together and for you to be so vibrant. That's why it's amazing to me because I was a student. When I met you, I didn't talk a lot. I was very quiet, but you were teaching and I was learning. So I was the student. And then you put I found out later on, years later, that you put my name into the circle of Random House. So Cheryl Woodruff and Marie
Yeah, I
Brown, all
thank her because when she published my book, she says, "Do I know of anybody else?" I said, "Yes, Queen of Four and Ken Dickerson,
wow.
and the rest is history."
So here we are.
Yeah, here
Wow.
we are. Here we are, and we still have best-selling books, which is a nice testament to our work and longevity and
Yeah.
consistency coming out of the Tree of Life. It's a nice
Mhm.
legacy we came out of.
Now that's you coming out of the tree of life. Yeah, that was our university. That was our grassroots university on 125th Street and 7th Avenue.
They used to call it UCLA, the University on the corner of Lenox Avenue, not the UCLA in
Ah!
California, but that's what they used to
University
call it,
on
UCLA.
the corner, I'm writing it down, of what?
University on the corner of Lenox Avenue. That's exactly
Ah!
what it was referred to, UCLA of
Oh
Harlem.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay, and that was
not
our
in
educational
California, but
center.
in Harlem.
That was our educational center. If there's any place you want to go to learn about yourself, to learn about why you're here, who you are, astrology, numerology, herbology, nature cures, that was the place to be. And I'm so good I got it as a teenager. I got it early on.
Yeah,
And
well, that's
from
where I made
that
my
is the
bones, as they
seed.
say, right there.
Oh, yeah. That was the seed. That was the
Yeah,
seed that
yeah.
I needed to water and I've been on it ever since.
Well, we have just a few minutes left, but I do want to thank you. I want everybody to please be in attendance for those that in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and even beyond. You know, the beauty about mobility now, you don't have to be in those three states, but wherever it is, you definitely be a part of this. Now, the vendor setup for people who want to vend or whatever the case is, do they go to your contact at queenoffood.com for
Yes,
any
they go to the
information?
same contact, and also those who want to do live stream who cannot in different parts of the world in the country, you can do, you can come on through live stream.
Okay, well,
So no
I'm
matter
going to
where
be
you are,
there
we
this
can ascend
Friday.
together.
I'm going to be there this Friday to help kick it off. And I'm very honored that you invited me, of course, Queen of Four. So it's going to be nice, you
Yeah.
know. Now, any closing words before we go?
Yes. One of the things I always think about this song, the Creator has a master plan, and Farrakhan, this came out in 1969. It was a global explosion. The Black Panther Party, the Black nationalists, vegetarian lifestyle, yoga, everything was coming in. The freedom fight and freedom marches was all happening all at the same time. And that was my time that I was waking up and transforming and
Mm-hmm.
being transformed. And so one of the things that I know for sure is to, if you study the right information and make it your own, and then spread it to others, then you have complete a full circle and you can maintain your health and the health of your community, the health of your family. So I do offer something to everyone to consider joining me and becoming a Green Life Detox practitioner. And I will give you the works that I have gathered. You'll get the book, 7 books. That's all a part of it. You'll get my 6 healing formulas. You'll get 12 weeks of me developing you as a healer, as a practitioner that will change your life and change your family and community. And maybe that's your life path, as this is my life path. So I want to thank you so much, Lord, for giving me this opportunity to share with our community. And may you continue to be vibrant.
Well, you know how we roll, okay, Queen of Four? That's no question. That's how we do, okay?
That's what we do. That's what
Yeah.
we do. Thank
So I
you.
want to thank you. Thank you very much for allowing. I'm glad you were consistent because we tried to have you on and it just didn't go right. And for a minute, this was kind of shaky too. But thank
Oh, Roger
Rajay,
came in,
please.
saved the
Thank you
day.
for saving the day. And thank you for, despite it all, coming on. So believe for everybody, please, this is the event that's going to be taking place this coming weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Restoration Plaza off Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn, New York City. You are all invited, and it's on the final day of I call it graduation or ascension. That's going to be one of the most remarkable experiences. I know when I was there, when you had it in Atlanta, it was nice. The sisterhood, the brotherhood, it was just amazing. And in fact, I had a couple on not too long ago where when I asked the guy, how did he hear about me? Him and his wife was on because they own a farm in the South. He said he heard me because when I was invited to do one of the speaking to the Wellness Warrior men in the group. And so it just shows it's very, 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 very nice. Very nice. God bless you, Queen of Four. Love you much too.
Thank you.
Yes. I'll see you Friday.
I'll
Okay.
see you Friday. Looking forward.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you. So everybody, please take good care of yourselves. This is Wednesday, but let me let you, before we go, I got to give all the sponsorship. One is to Melinda Valentine, also known as Queen B. She is on YouTube, Numeralytics, and there is at the top. So for those of you who can't have a time spelling it, you'll see it's at the top left of the screen underneath info. So it's Numeralytics. And on this Friday the 1st, she is going to have one of our favorites, Jazz Aphrodite, as her guest, the Empress of Numerology, on Numbers Matter. Okay. And then for King Simon, well, part 3 is right around the corner. Well, actually Friday, to be honest. And it will be something that for those of you who may have missed part 1 and 2, perhaps you can join in Not Too Late to get in part 3 of his. So just go to patreon.com/King Simon Productions. See, I was calling him King Solomon, but he does have that kind of wisdom too of King Solomon. Also, one of my favorite ladies and favorite stores in the whole wide world, the Nicholas Brooklyn, over 50 years in business. And they are having a very special event this Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, it is Dr. B Serious with Black Magic of 363. Okay, it's the Inner Child Experience Workshop live at Nicholas Brooklyn, and that is on the 2nd at 1396 Fulton Street. Tickets are available. Then the following day on Sunday. So, and in fact, Nicholas Brooklyn is right up the street from Restoration Plaza. So maybe you can go to Restoration Plaza for Queen of Four, then walk down the block and go right here to get this two-day event. But this is taking place on Sunday, all right? Also, I want to thank Master Dr. Uchenna Hackett, the man that really got me started with my app, got me started on Udemy, Live with Lloyd series. So I thank him from the bottom of my heart. Also, Queen of Four, not Queen of Four, but Melinda, no, excuse me, Miss Kimberly Williams on Manifest on Purpose. Okay. She has a podcast twice a week, and it's also called Astronumerology Reveals. And she is also a business astronumerologist. That is her forte. That's her niche. So for all of you who are business minded but want to take a metaphysical look at everything, this is the person to go to. And if you tell her you heard it from the show, you will get a complimentary a review of your business potentials. It is not to take up all of her time. Let's get right to the point, what you want to do, and listen, okay? And let her explain to you so you can move forward. And then on the 10th, Jazz Aphrodite will be starting her Numerology Mastery Institute. And for my guest that was on this past Monday, Portia Cooper, she has a Soul Card Studio. And if you go to soulcardstudio.com, 50% off any report. The user code is DCODE, okay? So I think that's it. Now let me see. On Monday, it's going to be Numerology Week. I'm going to have this numerology couple from London, okay? And then on Wednesday, I'm going to have also Saya. He is also from London. And so you will get a style of how numerologists work there across the pond and how they operate here. For those of you, my newsletter is out for August, although it's the 30th, but the newsletter has just came out about yesterday, I think. And it's free. All you got to do is go to lloyd-strayhorn.com or go to Linktree /numbers and you will get your free newsletter. But if you want to hear the audio part, the video audio part, you won't be able to. You got to wait until Friday on the 1st when it airs at, I think, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. So that's when you will hear what we said. Now, how we talk it and how it is written is two different words. It's two different kind of languages that we use. But for those of you who want to get the newsletter, it's absolutely free. And no, we do not sell your email address. No, we don't play that. And then at the end of August, I will be having my certification Numbers in You and Beyond workshop. So for those of you who want to, do this for a living, I will show you how to do this. I've been very successful at this, and I've got all the so-called credentials to prove it. But anyway, here's the newsletter that you can read. Here's the audio that you can see, but you got to wait till Friday before it is absolutely released, okay? So everybody, I want to thank you. I want to thank Queen Afua. We made it. And thank you for joining us on the live experience of what it takes to sometimes do these shows, okay? So I thank all of you. I don't know whether any of you made any donations. Hold up, let me see. Let's see something. Monique, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Monique is very special to me, okay? And she loved the vibe. We're gonna come your way soon, since you across the pond too. Let's see. And DS, just acknowledging some. These are regulars. He's out of Chicago. And Pearls, thank you. I want to thank all of you very much, very much. Always love to hear you speak. I have Sacred Woman in the Journal, Manifested Travels. But these are some of the comments that a lot of times I don't see until I agree with you, Quintanilla, an amazing show. She has helped a lot of women. She has helped a lot of women. And so for those of you in the area, I suggest that you should try to come there. Okay. I'm just looking to make sure that if anybody made a donation, because if I happen to miss it, what I do now is I've learned, let me tell you this, should you make a donation and I don't see it then, only when the show is over do I really get a chance to go through everything, look from the beginning to the end. And so when I catch a donation that I didn't say, I kind of acknowledge it on the next show. So there's some people that into their feelings, who feel that if I didn't do it, that I've ignored you. I would not take advantage of anybody's money like that. But I am human and I'm not perfect. Cece says she's 51 with no medication. All right, that's what I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, I do want to thank you all. All of you have a blessed weekend. So for some of you, I will begin to see you on Friday evening. And I'll be having my books available. They want me to speak. I'm going to keep that short, sweet, and to the point. And I will do readings for people who are very interested, okay? So I don't see anything like that. So this is good. Everybody, I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. All of you take good care of yourselves. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday with my very, very special guest, okay? Take care.